COVID.
COVIDs?
I cannot see you.
Okay, well, you got to go through the ritual here.
Got to go through the ritual.
Stand by. Technical difficulties.
Black chopper spotted.
Black shield. All right, here we go. And one of these days, am I back?
There you go, in your mother's basement.
In my mother's basement. Yes, Mom. Okay, turn up the volume. Dad, get the lighting.
Absolutely.
Denver Broncos Mile High View. No commercials, no bullshit. The number one Bronco channel for getting it right. And on that, I'm going to start off with this, okay? Because I want everybody to hear this. I want everybody. Can you see that? Do you see us there? You're in your mom's basement there?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody listen.
Do that. I'm going to call some people out because this is just getting ridiculous. That me who doesn't get paid for what they're doing, and we're right 9 times out of 10 out of 10. We're okay. You Mile High Huddle, Cody Rourke, 104.3 The Fan, KOA. You guys are pathetic. I'm sorry. I can't sit here and keep telling you people that are just so delusional in your little bubble. Where's the bubble? Do you have the bubble with you currently? Okay. You guys live in a fantasy land where you guys actually think that you honestly think because we brought in Nathaniel Hackett, who number one, this guy doesn't have a chance. I said it. The minute we hired him, I said, even if we hired a coach, 2 to 3 years minimum. I mean, he'll probably have a Vic Fangio type success here. Number 2. You're telling me that John Elway doesn't exist yet? Who is giving him who was praising him in the press conference?
It was Hackett. Hackett was saying that I wanted an autograph of you, John Elway.
And what did George Payton say? Which was the sounding board for the guy, John Elway. He said John Elway was a great sounding board for me. Same with Joe Ellis. So don't give me that fucking bullshit.
I like this. Is it sounding board or is it yes, Mr. Elway? Yes, Mr. Elway.
Yes. Who had to go to the search committee?
Yes.
Who had to go to the search committee?
Well, wait a minute. They had to go to They had to go talk to the so-called committee. Coaching by committee. Well, we all know who's spearheading this committee. But why did they have to go to it? Because Dan Quinn, the shoe-in,
said N-O. No.
Because, and my guess, and I'm just guessing, my guess is they did not want to give him control of player personnel because, again, I'm going to reiterate this. When Quinn goes into a place, he cleans house. And that means the Simmons, that means the Draymond Jones, that means the Garrett Bowles, all these, Flash Gordon, Fumble Gordon, all this kind of stuff.
So, I just wanted to explain this. When we say we are the unofficial Bronco authority on the Denver Broncos, that was a recording 9 months ago. And we were told how stupid we are. How dare you not be like a trained seal waiting for his treat. None of your comments aged very well. Just letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you want bullshit, turn your TV on, watch Mark Schlereth talk about Draymond Jones, who did fucking nothing in so many games, but in the Raiders game, did nothing where DJ Jones doesn't even get an honorable mention. And then who steals the fucking show defensively in that game? Max Crosby. Well, he's not a rising star. The problem we have, dude, is we have too much poisonous cancer of People like Mark Schlereth running his fucking mouth, sticking up I call it the Elway posse, sticking up for all the bad decisions that John Elway has made, over glorifying players that everybody in the press says I'm great, locally, but you suck. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think that what's going to end up happening, since we seem to be the ones that get it right in advance. You said Hackett doesn't stand a chance. Obviously, he doesn't stand a chance. They're burying him right now. They're burying him. But when I see this organization, I'll let you say everything you need to say just after this point. I think that what we're going to see with this organization, we're going to see one of the biggest mistakes ever made in the history of the NFL with this Russell Wilson. And this is the main point. This is a bigger issue than Russell Wilson, that $250 million boondoggle signing. This organization, we had Pat Bowlen at the top. We knew what we had. We had Pat Bowlen on the top, everything else on the bottom, and keeping everything in check, the check and balance. What we have now, and I just go back, it looks like a phone directory, and I can't tell where the coaching part of it, and I think this is player and coaching, that's the Elway part, and this administrative part, I don't know where one ends and the other begins. It's like a phone directory of Alpha. You said it yourself, and you eloquently, you said that this is just, there's so many cooks in the kitchen. Me and you were talking about this. This organization is so screwed and it's got so far to go before it figures itself out that me and you should just go into scouting, just go and forget this Bronco shit, because it's already at the bottom of the ocean. There isn't even getting rid of Hackett is like the Titanic is going down. It's literally going down to the tail of it's, you see the little tail of it, and you're worried about the deck chairs. I mean, the argument, it's that bad. It's that bad. I just think that it's just going to keep getting worse long before it gets better. You got the floor. I just wanted to play that because it was 9 months ago we said that. 9. It sounds like we just made it yesterday.
We are the authority of the Denver Broncos. I don't care who you
listen. The unofficial authority on the Denver Broncos.
The authority. It's not the unofficial authority. We are the authority of the Denver Broncos, you and I. Me and you have been so right about this team for the past, I don't know how many years. The 2 years since we've been doing this together. Ladies and gentlemen, this team is the worst organization in the National Football League. It's not, and you were playing that video, and what really struck me was how right we are. I mean, dude, it doesn't, like I said in my film review at BitChute, this Justin Simmons, and I'm going to get into him in a little bit. I'm going to do it in a calm manner, but I'm going to get into him because he's so bad. I
want you to talk about him, but then I'm going to go into the bigger picture.
Go ahead. I want to talk about what you just did with the videos and all this and this organization. I'm going to say it. The Detroit Lions right now are a better organization than the Denver Broncos are.
Yes. We are the Detroit. They are now the Denver Broncos on their way up, old school, lunch pail, working hard, nobody, blowing smoke and sunshine up their ass. The future, in my opinion, looks bright for them. Us, it's excuse.
Who is the person that was saying that? Me. Who is the person that was saying I love Dan Campbell. I love Brad Holmes. I love that the owner is taking a step back, letting them do their job. Yeah, okay, maybe they're 3-6, or whatever. They're 4-6, whatever. Okay, maybe their record doesn't speak it, but they are building for long-term success, not short-term success, and not band-aids like yours truly, the Denver Broncos. And ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people misconstrued what I say. I don't need to wear Bronco gear to understand that I don't need to show off my fandom. Okay, this isn't a fan-centric channel. This is a GM-centric channel. Okay,
ownership.
This is a channel that is. I think you hit the nail right on the head. We need to
go into scouting, because that is where our bread is buttered. That's where you and I, our film reviews, we can still do film reviews, but our bread is buttered into player, personnel, prospect scouting. That is what we do best. That's what I do best. That's what this man does best. We are into the simplistic fundamentals of football. We're not into this creative bullcrap that the NFL has gone to, because I think they've ruined all the quarterbacks. I don't think it's just one singular quarterback. I think that they've put such an onus on these princess quarterbacks that they have completely abandoned the offense, defense lines, the depth, the 53-man roster, plus the practice squad players. They have abandoned all of that. And this organization, circling back to the Denver Broncos, I mean, you cannot be serious and tell me that we're going to finish strong because of getting rid of Melvin Gordon. Okay, just because you got rid of Melvin Gordon doesn't mean there's a plethora of other issues still in this organization and on this football team.
Well, what's the next narrative they're going to say? Get rid of Hackett, and that's going to make everything great again.
Now the next narrative will be get rid of George Payton. That's what it is.
And then next year, but what about that guy that doesn't exist, that hasn't one of the biggest ones in the valley? What about that?
They won't acknowledge him. They refuse to acknowledge him because they're getting paid to speak what
to not acknowledge him.
Yeah.
All that stench has to go. But then, like you said, and you opened my eyes up to it, because I went and I looked at the it's like a phone directory. Like I said, you had Pat Bowlen at the very top, and then down everything else, all in order.
It was a ladder effect. It was a ladder effect.
Yes, and everybody had their place. Okay, everybody, the players knew their place, coaches, staff, everybody. This thing is just like a can of worms. You can't, like, where does the office administrative part stop, and then the coaching be? I mean, you talked about the whole cooks in the kitchen. Excuse me. That they got to get that thing straightened out. I mean, look at the Fords. Now the Fords have figured it out. Okay, we got a guy. He's got. Okay, what did we say? I was looking at the Hard Knocks too.
I would play for Dan Campbell in a heartbeat. That guy is such a dude.
Let's go beyond all that. Let's just go beyond that. Let's go beyond that. Let's go beyond that just a second. Now, how did they have that structured? They came in with a philosophy is we need to get an identity. So he put grit. Let's start with that. Now I'm going to hire the coaching staff that this is what the type of system we're going to run. These are the kind of players we're going to get. And we're not going to have all these cooks in the kitchen. We're not going to overhype players. If you don't cut the mustard, man, we got to get rid of you. And we have a vision, what we want to be, an identity. The Lions now have an identity. The Broncos are the Lions, the new Lions. They have no identity. They, get rid of Gordon. Their identity is overhyped players like Draymond Jones, who we play the film and you're like, what the fuck? And then, get rid of Gordon. That's the solution, or Tyree Cleveland, because he slipped. And the mess and the problem stays the same. Never changing. And you think, because I said, it's like didn't I say before the season, it's the car's already crashed through the guardrail, and everybody's bickering about how to change the radio station as it's going down into the canyon. It's just, there's no self-awareness at the top. I mean, the owner's going to have to, Condoleezza Rice, somebody, Lightning McQueen, the sports car driver, they're going to have to get a clue that, like, hey, man, this is a mess. Maybe you should look at Detroit. Just take a gander over there. Take a look at the Chiefs. Take a look at the Bills. Just maybe you should see how they're structuring over there. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're perfectly fine. I understand your frustration. It's not just looking at those teams. How about you look at shadow band scouting and Denver Broncos Mile High View and what we said for the past 2.5 years? That's all you need to know. I mean, because and they won't, because I'm getting shadow banned left and right and up and down, and
your comments on that 9 month ago video. That video is called Nathaniel Hackett Coaching Reimagined. That was 9 months ago.
Coaching Reimagined.
Your comments are shadow banned. People are responding to you. I'm responding, but you can't see your comments because you got shadow banned.
Yeah, because I got shadow banned twice on them too. Twice on them too. And on top of that, people ask me all the time, man, you're so detail oriented, because that's the type of person. I'm very detail oriented in my approach. I understand the ins and outs in football. I understand the structure. And when you look at the structure of the 2012 Denver Broncos and the 2022 Denver Broncos, you cannot sit there and tell me that this organization is structured the exact same way that the 2012 Denver Broncos organization and team was compared to the 2022 Denver Broncos. And I'm done hearing the excuses. I'm done hearing the excuses, because all I hear are excuse making for these players that are privileged, that think that there's something that they're completely not. And I'm watching the Detroit Lions. I mean, dude, they're building their offensive line, and I wanted Frank Ragnow from Arkansas. I wanted
that. We're not allowed to have that.
I wanted Jonah Jackson from Ohio State. I wanted Penei Sewell from Oregon. I know.
No, just hold on a second, because I'm gonna give you some accolades here. I hit the ceiling, because I was listening today. This week I was listening to Sports Talk bullshit, the bullshit platform. Now, listen to this. So the turd polisher out, the king of the turd polishers, Mark Slareth, right? Who would have ever thought Jefferson out in Minnesota? Nobody thought. Yeah, they know who thought that, because you're on the record when we went and got Judy. Why did we get Judy? He said, well, you should go get Jefferson. He's a much better. You don't sit there and lie to your audience that nobody said anything. That's why you get shadow banned. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to say, you're the scout. I'm not the scout. I'm just a guy that can put a media package together. No, I'll look at plays and stuff like this, but you are actually the scout. I'm not even in the fucking universe you're in. But yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy said, get Jefferson. Don't get this other guy. No. Anyway, it's just frustrating when I hear that nonsense bullshit coming out. It just really frustrates me. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like you said, I've completely shut that off. I don't need to hear what they say to understand this is what they're saying.
Because they don't say anything but bullshit and garbage, and then they get paid for it on top of that, because they know people want it right up their fucking ass. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You're talking about Detroit building, and I apologize.
No. Dude, I'm in your shoes. But at this point in time, how can I already let out all my frustrations on that film review. And dude, there comes a point in time where we got to do what we do best. And what we do best is, dude, I don't understand. I'm really trying to understand. I'm sending you TikToks too of Golden Tate saying exactly what we're saying, where you can't bring an offensive system over from a different team and expect that player personnel to fit that system. You have to bring in player personnel that fit that system. And just in that 9 months ago video, I said that was going to be the problem, because you don't have the player personnel on this roster and the organizational stability to run the Nathaniel Hackett offense. Clint Kubiak is running the plays. I don't think he's really running the plays. I think it's just that whole conglomerate of people in that organization. And I knew this was coming before OTAs, okay? Because I went and looked at the coaching staff and and everything. I said this during OTAs, that there are things on what I'm hearing locally that are scaring them, and they're not going to bring them up, because I understand, okay, well, that probably means that the offensive system isn't working and they don't have the player personnel to run that certain system. And look, I've been right. And don't give me this crap that this defense is a top 5 defense, because it's not. It's nowhere close to a top 5 defense. We'll get into that. But just one last thing about Detroit. I really love what Detroit is. I mean, that is the type of team that I want the Denver Broncos to start emulating. Not saying that we need to be the Detroit of old, which we are now.
Yeah, that's what we are now. Yeah.
But I want to, dude.
It's worse. I think it's worse than that. I think it's that on steroids.
Well, because you went and got you put the cart in front of the horse and got Russell Wilson, which will probably go down as one of the worst trades probably the worst trade in NFL history.
Compounded by a complete inept front office. You got
yeah.
I mean, it's like putting gas on a fire, man.
Well, plus an inept offense when you paid him, when you gave him a 5-year contract already on his 2 years remaining and given him $250 million. I know that's the sign of a desperate organization and an unstable organization, number one. Number two.
Rat front office.
Dude, Dan can't, dude, you're watching Hard Knocks, man. Dude, you cannot sit there and tell me that, I mean, dude, that organization, that's a family in Detroit. You watch Hard Knocks.
We were saying we need that type of a thing, a phenomenon.
Go to Denver, you got the media after media after media attacking Hackett. You got Hackett against players. You got George Payton being the yes man. You got John Elway. You got all these cooks in the kitchen. You got Lightning McQueen. 9/11 chick. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind.
9/11 chick. I like that. I want to go back to Tate. Because when I started this channel, it's exactly what Tate was saying. I said, you can't keep switching out coaches, switching out systems, because they're all drafting players that fit those systems. Now you got a can of worm of players that this player doesn't fit that system. And again, you go through that, you go and look online at the Denver Broncos, and I have no idea where coaching ends or starts and where the office and administration, it's just this. And then they're talking about all these people that are, what's the one thing I do get some things from listening to that garbage on Sports Talk.
I just can't.
Orlando Franklin saying that there's an offensive coordinator. There's no offensive coordinator.
No.
There's maybe somebody acting as an office, and I don't know if he's talking about there's so many names they're throwing out again with this phone directory. I don't know if it's the guy they hired to if he's talking about the guy they hired to call timeouts. I'm not sure who the fuck they're talking about. All these names they're throwing out. All I can say is you better, one day you're going to have to simplify. You're going to have to go down to the lowest common denominator, figure out what is your identity. Right now, it's no identity by, it's one identity 1 week, another identity another week. Oh, put Wilson under center. That'll cure everything. Get rid of Gordon. Oh, that'll cure everything. But we still have Justin Simmons out there, like a soccer player, a footballer, a goalie. Just wait. Oh yeah, let me get my binoculars out. There he is, way back there. And then I'm going to say this too. I want to say this. I have no confidence in any really team. I mean, if you're an offensive coordinator and you can't figure out, let me just say this. You're an offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, and you can't figure out. You've got Surtain way off. Your top receiver, okay, Adams, your very top receiver, and you got the goalie out there, Justin Simmons. Oh, he's protecting the goal. He's in the end zone. No, I'm not going to exploit that. I mean, these are touchdowns. These are automatic touchdowns, and you should be able to figure that out. I think that a lot of the NFL is almost as bad as the Denver Broncos. Go ahead.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as say organizational wise. I would say in terms of getting in their own head, having their head up their own ass.
Wherewithal.
Yes. But again, I just, man, dude. I mean, dude, I'm hearing all week from these turd polishers that, wow, Melvin Gordon is the reason we lost the Raider game. I mean, dude, there we go again. You said that about this, man.
They're the same people that defended the Elway, hire. Elway not only brought him in, but paid way too much for him. Oh, it's only 2 years. It's only all this money. It's only $20-some million. They're paying on. He's at home. Just like Menelik Watson, just like Juwan James, just like Harris, just like Locke, just like Jarrell Casey. They're all at home and they're getting paid because the front office is so fucking inept.
And who you bring, circling back to the Melvin Gordon point, who did they get rid of in favor of Melvin Gordon? Philip Lindsay.
Philip, yes.
Dude, they got rid of a younger rising running back who fit the system at the time for Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
Who had fumble issues, was a souped up version of Wilson McGahee 2.0. I just.
Well, what system did he what system did Lindsay, Fant, what system did they try?
Rich Scangarillo system.
And then Elway gets rid of that because they promised Gary Kubiak promised, and then after that it wasn't Fangio up at night. It wasn't him up at night at all. He had no part of the offense, and we pointed that out from day one. And even the sports talk radio, it said, well, he's not a part of the offense. Well, why would he care, Scangarello, when he's been told you're not a part of the offense? You could see he wasn't a part of the offense. He never even messed with he wasn't even associated with the offense, because we know who's quarterbacking as an offensive coordinator behind the scenes. So you get rid of that. Then you want to be the Kansas City Chiefs. There's only one person I know that wanted to do that. So the only thing you can do is bring in Shermer. You don't have the player personnel. You have player personnel that fits more of a West Coast sit. I mean, it's
mentally taxing. And then you bring in Nathaniel Hackett, who didn't call plays in Green Bay. That's been proven. It was all Matt LaFleur.
And that's all you said. That's all you said when we brought him in.
It was right there in front of your face. And on top of that, I also want to bring up this point. Let's go all the way back to Vance Joseph, for example, because dude, what did I say about Nathaniel Hackett? What did I say about him? He's a Vance Joseph 2.0. He's a yes man. All he is going to be a guy that's a raw. And you were sending me voice messages the past few days about we never wanted a raw coach. Yes, he did. That's all you guys said.
About the energy. Oh, look he brings all this energy. He's not like that. Fangio actually wants to hold players accountable. No, we're not going to have any of that.
I'm telling you, dude, I would rather have Fangio, right? Dude, if this was a stable organization, Fangio would still be here. Guaranteed.
Well, I'd have Fangio and Rich Scangarello and just keep that and get that fucking listen. If Nathaniel Hackett isn't running, if it turns out Nathaniel Hackett never was really running anything, he was just there.
Saying that, this channel right here.
If he was just doing that, again, let's go back in time to Fangio. Who is actually quarterbacking this offense from behind the scenes?
Elway.
Exactly. The guy that doesn't exist. Has to be. Nothing has changed.
Dude, I said nothing was going to change this year. When everybody was attacking me left and right, shouting.
That video 9 months ago. You said, that's why I played it. And all those comments, these two guys. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we don't.
Where are you now?
Oh, they are under. Well, you can't even. You can lift the rock, and it's still going to be hard to find what rock they're under. Man, they're just scurried in because they listened to paid for garbage. So they were experts. They were the experts.
Yeah, but none of those experts I get paid for do film.
I'll tell you what. Whatever happened to C. Salami? He's like dried up and blown away.
Yeah, well, he was originally a Steeler fan, so there's really nothing to take away from that guy.
I'm saying all these people have just kind of died on the vine. Even Cody Rourke there's nothing coming out of that anymore. They're all just shriveled up and
Cody Rourke said this was going to be an offense we've never seen before.
That we've never seen before. Well, you know what? Those two guys are just idiots.
Well, yeah, the reason why I haven't seen anything from this offense because they haven't done anything because they don't have personnel to run it.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. Well, we better get into our post game Raider. You did the on the defense. That's
I'll give you the floor. This video will get shadow banned on them too. But go ahead.
Well, what you got to do is make a little video and provide the link. I'm going to provide a link here. So again, we just said that the rest of the NFL isn't that far behind, or whatever, how you want to look at it, that far ahead of the Denver Broncos. Everybody likes to talk about this defense, and they waved the 49er game around. That's the one thing that pisses me off too. You had Garoppolo, who was coming off his first week of practice because of the injury to that experiment, that whole Shanahan thing. So he's got a week of practice, and I think he's thinking too much because they ran the ball with no problem, but their quarterback, he had wide open receivers all night, and he's either overthrowing, underthrowing, throwing to this two. It's amazing he didn't throw a bunch of picks. He's got one guy, their fast receiver. There's nobody, right? And of course, Justin Simmons. So they end up losing that game because they couldn't sustain the running game because they couldn't complete one fucking pass to wide open receivers. So that's their hail. Then Tennessee, they say, well, they stopped Henry. I'm getting sick and tired. You didn't stop Henry. Henry didn't even play that game other than a token carry for every 3 downs. One token carry for every 3 downs. That's not playing him. They reinvented themselves as a passing team, which they're not. They're not even fully. But they know one thing. They don't have to score very many points to beat the Denver Broncos because they're so bad. So you're not getting A-game offenses out there. So, I mean, when you look at the film, you see wide open receivers on a constant basis. You see the Broncos defense getting exploited in the B gaps on a constant basis. So the Raiders actually took a script from Jacksonville, which we said they should do, and run the B gaps and then hit them over the middle. And if Carr was even half of the quarterback he used to be, this would have been a 30, 40-point slaughter. There was one play you had. It was at the 28-minute mark, and all Carr had to do was just see that Sutton is playing. It was 10 yards off right there, and all Sutton was in that game, as far as Devontae Adams was concerned, was a pylon. He was just a pylon out there, and Justin Simmons is playing goalie way at the end of the field. And just looking at that, I looked at that and I'm like, man, this is a touchdown. There's no way. And all Carr had to do, and it wouldn't have taken very long, as soon as Devontae Adams and it was neck and neck with the pylon, Surtain, that's when you're ready to go. And then he makes that cut. That ball's right there. And you saw it. Justin Simmons got turned around, which he always gets turned around. That right there would have been a touchdown. But Carr, just like these other quarterbacks we played, he can't process that. That was the guy in the cheap seat could have saw that, but he couldn't process that. It's just, I think the NFL has just become it's just not a good product anymore across the board. That's my take. Go ahead.
So Raiders post game, Justin Simmons is the worst safety in the national. He's the worst starting safety in the National Football League, hands down, no question about it.
Film doesn't lie. Film doesn't lie.
Yeah, the film doesn't lie, dude. This guy absolutely sucks. I want to ask you this. Did you see when Alex Singleton turns around and starts talking to Simmons like, what the hell?
He's not the only player. Not in that game he did, but there's other games where other players have done that too. But you can't, and I'm going to say this too, because you're going to get into Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons is a product of the guy upstairs. When you're not held accountable, when you're given you don't have to worry about doing anything. You can do whatever you want. Why even make an effort? And that's where the poison comes in. There's players that can get away with everything, and other players that are doing good, like Cleveland. They got rid of him because he slipped. That's the narrative. He slipped. He didn't change his shoes. But compared to what Justin Simmons does on a regular basis, that's nothing. Go ahead.
So, Justin, I hate talking about this guy. This guy is, I've said this for 4 or 5 years, that this guy is the most overrated Denver Bronco on the team. This guy
in history of the team.
this guy's the worst. He doesn't even deserve Tony Lilly accolade here. He is Justin Simmons. He's not even close to Tony Lilly. Tony Lilly was a better player than Justin Simmons.
As bad as he was, yes. And that's, yeah.
Yeah, and Justin Simmons, I mean, you see throughout the game, he is playing, dude, like Derek Carr, there were plays where he left plays in the middle of the field wide open. Devontae's running free. And dude, Justin Simmons, I know Justin Simmons is like 20 to 30 yards off his man, doing, hiding that.
Playing goalie for the United Kingdom. Yeah.
And there was a play, it was a 3rd and 15 where you saw Max Hollins do an in route on Surtain, and I'm going to get into Surtain here in just a few minutes, where he runs an in route and it's almost a first down. They get in the field goal range. And it's almost a first down. It's like 4th and 1. It was a fourth. It got to 4th and 1. And Simmons his read and react process. Dude, if I'm a safety playing his side of the field, I would automatically. It was an in route, and you have Surtain off the guy. What do you want to help your man there? Where you come down, you could get an easy interception or at least tackle the dude.
Yeah, I don't have to really do much. If I feel like it, I'll do it.
Oh, okay. If you feel like you do it, yet you're getting paid top 5. You know what? I expect better from Justin Simmons because he's getting paid as a top 5 safety in this league for no reason whatsoever. He didn't do anything to deserve that contract. And this goes back to who Cody Rourke interviewed, where there's players that get privileges and there's other players that get shown the door. A la
Philip Lindsay.
Philip Lindsay. I mean, dude, I'm just so done talking about this guy. Justin Simmons is the worst safety in the National Football League. And what really, you say we got to trade him. I don't think anybody wants to trade for him because number one,
they're not going to take that. No. Yeah.
I would cut his ass. I would just cut him. He sucks.
Hey, you might as well, because that's what you do best, Denver Broncos. You pay players to sit in the hot tub at home eating hot dogs. It's just what you do. You overpay players that can't play. So now let's go pay Draymond. It never ends, man. Just never.
Draymond Jones, who was getting pushed back in the B gaps throughout that time.
You can't have a Max Crosby. No.
And here's what's funny. We heard for the past how long, 3-4 years with Draymond, how, oh my God, he is a force in the middle. He plays every snap. If he was a force in the middle, I think he would be like a Chris Jones in Kansas City, or an Aaron Donald, or a Jeffrey Simmons, or something like that. Where he's
Max Crosby, what we saw with Max Crosby.
Well, Max Crosby's an edge player, but yes,
I'm just saying we would see something.
I know, but at the end of the day, even when I was showing my film review, they took him off the field. He wasn't playing 90% of the snaps.
We've seen that before.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
He's not that guy.
He's not that guy, dude. And dude, I've done Draymond Jones so many times. We got hate for it. We don't know what we're talking about. Where are those people?
Because they don't want a Chris Jones. They don't want that. They want to just sit there and cheerlead bad, or just good enough. Just like they did this offensive line.
I know Jordan Davis is hurt right now, but I encourage everyone to go watch Jordan Davis before he got hurt, how he helped that middle of the defense for the Eagles. And the Eagles defense has slipped a little bit because they don't have a Jordan Davis in the middle. Yeah, they got
push up the middle. That push up the middle.
And who wanted Jordan Davis?
Well, he's injured.
Okay, all right, man. That guy.
Like Gregory.
Yeah.
And it's not even in the. Yeah, it's not that, and that's another thing. Gregory.
Oh God.
Well, we may get Greg. We may. Is he going to be the same with that knee? Is he going to be able to play at the same level with that knee? Is he going to be out again because of that knee?
Well,
you signed him to a big contract. And they excuse make. I don't know if it was Gregory's agent came on and was just going, well, players get injured. This guy, yeah, there's players that do get injured, but there's players with history and a massive history of injury, and that's the guy. That's a different story altogether.
So you gave Gregory all that money, but you couldn't go get a Tim Settle who's balling out in Buffalo. You couldn't go get a Sheldon Joseph Day. You couldn't go. I know.
No, they can't because the front office is so fucking inept. Splash, 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 splash. You know, I'll just say, Rob Walton, you got to here, take a lesson from Detroit. Take this, and Buffalo and everybody else. Stop with the flash and get on with the grit. Make these players actually have to be held accountable, players that actually want to work hard, and players you don't have to set up a PR machine around. They are, you know, they get the job done. Try that approach. Just try it. Figure out who you are. They don't know who they are. Try that.
Absolutely. I want to go to another player on this defense. Josie Jewell.
Oh, Josie Jewell. Oh, my God, he's the next Ragnow. No, not Ragnow.
No, it was the next Bill Romanowski from what I heard.
Next Bill Romo, excuse me. So yes, Romo.
Really? Josie Jewell, the next Bill Romanowski. Dude, did you see that wheel route that I showed? Oh, my, dude. You had Josh Jacobs who turned around Josie Jewell on a wheel route on the sideline. And then, of course, you had Justin Simmons come late. And Justin Simmons, I also want to bring this up with him. He sucks at tackling. I mean, this guy sucks all over. Dude, he can't do anything good. This guy
that's why none of the players around the league will say you don't deserve to be in. You can't trash this Pro Bowl out with your presence. You know, John Elway may take care of you, but we're not letting you in.
No, exactly. But Josie Jewell, again, dude, Josie Jewell is a very inconsistent player. And I can't have that in the middle of my defense. Same with Alex Singleton. He has good plays here and there, but he's inconsistent.
Sideline to sideline.
Yep, sideline to sideline. And at the end of the day, Josie Jewell is just another product of Elway because he was an Elway draft pick. So anyway, I want to go back to one more player, and this is the last thing I'll say about this defense. Patrick Surtain. This guy.
You called it. The pregame, you called it. The pregame, you absolutely said, make sure that you get match him up on crossing routes, this kind of thing, because he can't stick with it in the middle of the field. Go ahead.
And he was playing 10 yards off like LaShawn Austin when we brought him in and experimented with him. He was playing 10 to 20 yards off Devontae or Max Hollins. And where was Carr going? Right at those players. Because Surtain couldn't cover his man. I said Surtain is a better man-to-man corner. He's not a off-man corner, a zone corner per se. And I said that he is a stiffer version of Antonio Cromartie, where, okay, he'll look good some weeks, but other weeks he won't even look like a starting safety in this league. And on top of that, didn't we hear this offseason from Cody Rourke where he tried to put out film on him or whatever, where he was saying that Patrick Surtain is the next Champ Bailey? I don't understand.
Well, that's what they get paid to. They get paid, and this is the problem. They have 8 turd polishers platforms out there hyping these players that should never be hyped up. These players hear this stuff. Oh, I'm so great. I'm so great. I'm telling you, there is turmoil. I would love to just be in those, like a Hard Knock, just to see the turmoil that's going, because I guarantee you, not just the player turmoil, but the front office turmoil. I would love just to see that. It's like a snake eating its own tail, I bet you, over there.
Well, I think that's why they don't want to do Hard Knocks, because they don't want to show the turmoil, like you said, that's in that organization. And on top of that, I'm getting really sick and tired of the disrespect DJ Jones gets. He doesn't get anything.
Oh, yeah, he's chopped liver. It's like that goes back to that interview with Cody Rourke and that Denver Bronco player. There's players that ball out that they just ignore. And what is DJ Jones here? He hears, oh, Draymond Jones. And I'm like, he's probably like, what? And now DJ Jones gets to see this culture now. He gets to see this toxic culture.
Same with Russell Wilson. Now you understand why we weren't. Again, at the end of the day, the Denver Broncos will always revert back to what they are, and they're not even a muddling in the team anymore. They're not even a muddling in the middle team anymore. This is the worst running organization in the league.
Well, they would be a lot even worse. Well, they are. That's a true statement that you just said. The only reason that they would be allowed to be muddling in the middle because there's these other organizations don't even have their fucking act together, and they would allow a team like the Broncos to be in games. They shouldn't even be in.
Dude, the Broncos are 3-7. They just lost to a Raider team that is equally bad or just a little bit better than they are.
It's just, you can't make it up.
I'm going to go to Carolina at 11 a.m. in Carolina and expect us to win that game. Okay.
Well, but go back to this, and you're right. I mean, the Broncos, it's just, and it's a problem that won't get fixed until they get a clue. But do you really feel confident with Carolina? I haven't seen any Carolina. I have to go look at Carolina film.
Yeah,
that's something.
I got to still do that.
So, but what I'm seeing around the league, it's just like, how can they fuck that up? How can Carolina figure out a way to fuck things up where they're letting the Broncos in a game?
This is all I can say. They didn't look good against the Ravens, but the Ravens are a top tier team. I mean, they're a top tier team for
player personnel wise, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they've learned a lesson with
this Panthers team can score though. Like you said, this team can score. So it wouldn't again. I need to look at the film before I speak on the Carolina Panthers because that is where my bread is buttered.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance. We were going through the Raider and just filming, just shaking our head and just, this stuff never ends. And it's like I was telling you that, I mean, it just was like Garoppolo with San Francisco. I mean, Carr had so many opportunities and just there's so much cluelessness on his part, You should know. You should know what you have. You played the Broncos enough. Maybe if it was Carolina, they don't play the Broncos all that much. Maybe you're not quite sure. But when you play the Broncos as much as you did, and you made your name just like Mahomes did. You made a name attacking Justin Simmons. I mean, just exploiting that alone, for big plays and stuff like this that you would even question. Devontae Adams with going up against Surtain, who's 10 yards off, who's nothing more than a pylon out there.
Who's no Champ Bailey.
No, I mean, no. It's you don't even. That's the problem. And I don't blame the players for this. It always, what Rob Walton and the group. One thing they need to do is cut that PR machine off because it's poisoning the players. These players need to learn some grit. Here, I want to make one thing that this is an argument. We're talking about I want to talk about the offense just really quick.
Okay.
I'm totally mind blown. I mean, completely mind blown. Completely. That we don't have one wide receiver that can throw a block. That's beyond my comprehension.
Dude, I brought that up for years. We don't have a receiver, and dude, the last great blocking receiver we had, and I'm gonna say it, I think the best blocking receiver we've had over the past couple of years is Tyree Cleveland. That guy could block. That guy could throw a block.
Got to get rid of him because he can block.
Yeah, and you had Sanders, who I think was the last great receiver the Denver Broncos had. Because
by far, yes.
And he got ran out of town too for.
There's another guy that got ran out of town. Yeah.
So
that's what the front office that's still there does. That's what they do. What message are you sending? What message are you sending?
You had Max Hollins, who is a backup receiver at best, who was throwing better blocks than Sutton, than any of these receivers combined.
You see it on the film. I can't wrap my mind around it. I mean, nobody in the coaching, there's not one coach there there's nobody is making an effort to have these guys block. I mean, it's just I can't. What do I say? It's just it blows my mind. It's mind blowing that they're.
You got rid of Curtis Mawkins to keep Zach Azani.
It's what they do.
You got rid of Mike for Butch.
Let me ask you, along with the lines that you're saying. Let me ask you this exact lines of what you're saying. Did Mr. did he have any say in how this thing was going to be built?
No. And I said that 9 months ago.
Because there was a committee for all that, correct?
That's why Dan Quinn wasn't hired, because he said that we've had articles and we've read them and we've done the deep dive.
Well, in podcasts, and we linked to all of it.
And
because that's what we do. Yeah.
But again, yeah, we actually back up what we say, unlike these other turd polishers. But again,
yeah.
We go, okay, let's go back 9 months ago when we hired Nathaniel Hackett, 9, 10, whatever, how many months ago it was. We brought up the point where we had the Dallas people saying that Elway's still there. And on top of that, George Payton wanted to hire Dan Quinn because I believe Dan Quinn was going.
That's why everybody said the Dan Quinn's a shoe-in, because they were getting it from Payton.
Yeah, and that's why I thought Dan Quinn was a shoe-in. But again, at the end of the day, once Nathaniel Hackett's name came up, I'm like, oh, it's Hackett, because he's a perfect yes man for this organization. But okay, let's go back to that point where we brought up Dan Quinn. What did we say about Dan Quinn? What did he say? That he wanted to come here,
clean house.
Clean house. Exactly.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's what was that was the track record. That's what the track record said.
Cowboys people were saying that he wanted to go to Denver and clean house.
Yes, the track record. The track record shows that when he gets there, he wants to be the guy in charge. You're going to be a Vance Joseph 2.0, a Fangio 2.0, whatever other, Hackett 2.0. You're going to be a 2.0.
Okay, let's talk about the 2.0. Is Dallas missing Randy Gregory right now?
Fuck no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they rather go get a cheaper version of him.
Well, let me ask you this: are there defensive ends on the injury reserve for fucking ever and a day?
No.
Are they all out on the field playing?
They're on the field playing.
Yeah. So fuck you, Gregory. Fucking free agent, the agent for Gregory. They're playing. You're going to make a guy in the hospital or in the hot tub or whatever at home eating Cheetos?
Okay.
Man, you need to get a fucking grip on reality, you fucking motherfucker.
Now you're turning to me, buddy. Shadow ban.
Oh, man. That's just the kind of stuff that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is why I'm going more into the scouting realm. This is why that's my bread and butter. But look at this right here. Who did Randy Gregory play for?
Nebraska.
Okay. I'm a big Nebraska fan. I love Nebraska. They're my call. I love their favorite college team. I watched Nebraska. I watched Bo Pelini with Randy Gregory in Lincoln. Okay, I watched how they used him. They ran a 4-3 defense under Bo Pelini, and they used him in the most perfect way. A 5-tech, hand in the dirt edge rusher. And you know what they did? They rotated him in and out to keep him fresh so he wouldn't get injured. That's how they used him up there in Lincoln. Now, when you got into the NFL, you have these people left and right just absolutely just using him, and then he gets hurt. I said in Detroit, in Dallas, he was a second-round pick for Dallas a few years ago. I said, you got to use him in a specific way. Just like I said, what did I say about
Nick? You probably have to rotate him just like Draymond Jones so he doesn't get hurt.
And also, can I just say this? What is Ejiro doing with Draymond Jones? Are they lining him?
But he takes him out.
But there's a reason for that. I think it's because he's not as good as people think he is. But let's go. What did I say about Draymond Jones? What is his best fit?
He gets to the outside. He's more of the 4-3, 5-tech. 4-3, yeah, 5-tech.
And what are we starting to see little by little with Ezra on how he's using him? They use him outside.
Exactly. Which, yes, that's why I like Edgero. But he's in a. It's just God, could you imagine Edro in? I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of a place that
Chicago.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, where they you don't have that meddling going on from above. Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine him in Detroit with Dan Campbell?
Well, they've got a decent defensive coordinator, but yeah. You know, yes, yeah.
Or okay, let's say okay.
I don't
okay,
know what defense they're in Detroit.
Okay. That was probably a bad example because I don't think Detroit has the player personnel.
I think Chicago. I think that's the perfect example. Yeah.
No, I think this is the perfect place for him, and I want to. This goes to your friend Eddie if he watches this. New Orleans with that player.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. That would be a great place for Edro. Yeah.
That defensive player personnel in New Orleans. That would be that he would look good over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Unbelievable. This is just
worst organization in the league. It's the worst. Dude, you have to. Dude, you cannot sit there anymore and say this is a team. This is the worst organization in the league. It is.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This the $250 million boondoggle is just a tip of the iceberg. It's just a tip of the.
Just laughing at her face, Seattle. Because I mean, dude, they're happy that they got off that back of Russell Wilson. Dude, they're gonna have a top 5 draft pick, man. They're gonna have a top 5 draft pick.
That's exactly. That's yes. The main chunk of the story is the fact that the front office of Broncos are so ego driven and so desperate. You know, their legacy, right? That they would make such a bad deal that it will turn out probably be with all the picks and getting out of this is going to be, but it's like, you know, it's like you're at a black hole and it's just a gravity well and it just sucks the starship, destroys the planets. You got to get out of this black hole that's sucking you in, and it's going to take a lot of work to get out. And you know what I think is going to happen? That Russell Wilson will end up just like Juwan James. Like I said, this could be the Menelik Watson of all deals
for quarterbacks. Yep.
They'll be paying him at home to eat Cheetos and sit in a hot tub. You watch it, because that's what this front office is so good at doing.
And we said that. Let's go back to the Titans game. If Jeffrey Simmons was in this game, of how bad Russell Wilson was getting pummeled in that game, and also the Raider game, dude, I guarantee you he would have got injured in that game, because Jeffrey Simmons makes everybody around him on that defensive front better. Dude, if Jeffrey Simmons was playing in that game,
well, we had Titan fans come on and agree with us that said, yes, if we had all our main guys in there, this would have been a beatdown of all proportions.
And look, you could call me a clown all you want. That's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, you cannot deny our track record.
No.
Our track record.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's why you get banned. That's why you get banned. Because when you start truthing these people and they can't get around that truth, the only thing they can do is just try to take you off. So I am going to put the links from BitChute on this so that people can go check out those videos.
The one thing that I'm probably going to start moving forward, I'm going to go back to VenTube in a way that's more strategic. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a lot of my player profiling, scouting on VenTube.
Well, you've gotten banned for that.
I know, and I'm having people. My videos from these offensive linemen and Jack Campbell from Iowa, who looks like he's the best linebacker in this draft. Oh, who said that a few months ago? Dude, those videos are starting to get views because they understand.
Well, I know who's viewing them. They're viewing them over in the NFL, and that's why I'm going to say we're going to go and take this to a level that if they want that information, they're going to have to pay for it, because you should be hired. I mean, just flat out hired, because you're like what they got at Dove Valley, for instance, they're not even close to the universe you're in. Not even close, because they got a guy at the top that's quarterbacking the whole thing that doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground.
Yeah, and we've been saying that
on the shoulder, up, nope, up.
So the next narrative that I think Nathaniel Hackett's getting fired. I think that they're just setting it up.
And what's the solution? More of the same?
Yeah, more of the same.
That's the solution. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can guarantee that turd's going to be. Remember how all the energy, oh, my God. And who was leading that? James Maryland. Oh, my God. And now he's like, he's got to get fired. That's just you got to get rid of that toxicity. I'm just telling you, Rob Walton, you need to cut all that. Why are you paying for all these turd polishers? Get rid of them.
Well, I wouldn't say he's mainly paying for the turd. I think Elway is the one that's pushing.
Well, but it's coming out of their pocket. It's not coming. Elway isn't taking his wallet out, man. Elway does best, uses other people's money.
You really think that he knows that Elway's pushing out that garbage?
Yes.
I don't, because I think he's not there.
Yes, I don't think they can get away from it now. I think it's just too in the face.
Well, and on top of that, even if they do bring in a head coach, yeah, you'll have the internet idiots out there that will believe in the next hire. But I think a majority of Denver Broncos fans are just done. They're done with it.
Well, I'm laughing that they think they're going to get Shawn Payton. It's just like,
Shawn Payton,
oh,
dude, Shawn Payton just came out a few hours ago. I was about to say this, I forgot to, and then thank you for reminding me. He said that what was the team that I said that he would most likely go to?
Probably the Chargers.
Yeah, he said that. He said, I'd rather go to the Chargers or the Cardinals.
Yeah, there's no Broncos. The only reason, remember, the only reason we were wrong, but we weren't really wrong with Russell Wilson is nobody saw that coming because we didn't know that Seattle is like, we got to do something about this albatross. And man, I'll tell you, as much as their coach up there gets shit on because he's this old guy that doesn't know anything, Pete Carroll. They played their cards. They all did close to the vest. It's like, we really want Russell Wilson. You got to give us something, man. They never wanted Russell Wilson. They wanted him.
They fleeced him.
They fleeced them. Like, I mean, here you got an organization that has its shit together totally versus an organization that doesn't know their right nut from their left nut, and they got fleeced. It's going to go down as the history's biggest fucking boondoggle in NFL history. NFL history. And Elway, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to say this because I didn't say this. George Payton, you better at least
here we go. Yep.
Not acknowledge that this was all you. You better tell the truth because, buddy, you ain't never going to have it. Nobody is going to hire you if you say this was all me. I did it all. If you don't come out and at least say, maybe contractually you can't say John Elway because you signed a non-disclosure. But what you can say is, I definitely was not the final say on this. If I was the dissenting voice who didn't want to sign Russell Wilson, bring him in and sign this big contract, I would have got overwritten from above. That's where the final decision. Then you may have a job because then you can say, well, I was just an Elway puppet, But John Elway, guess what, buddy? You are never, ever, nobody is going to hire your consulting because you just signed probably the NFL's history's worst deal. Go ahead.
Well, his legacy has been tarnished. We've said that from time to time
again.
That's
putting it mild. That's putting it mild.
Yeah, well,
it's a disaster. It is on a monument. It's like Pompeii, man.
Worse than Al Davis.
Oh, God, by far.
And on top of that, let's go back to when George Payton
worse than Daniel Snyder, all of it.
Yeah. Let's Jerry Jones. Let's go back to when George Payton is hired real quick. What did he say in his press conference? That teams are built from the inside out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't think that he wanted a guy like a Charles Cross or a Jordan Davis or
he's you said it yourself. You go take a look at you go online and you look at the staff and it's just like, where does one end and the other begin?
Yep.
Turd polishers are going to polish, I guess, but we're going to tell you like it is.
And we will still be here for that. And you know what? At the end of the day, the Denver Broncos I'll end it with this. You have Justin Simmons, who's the worst safety in the league.
Yeah, bar none. Yeah.
By far. And on top of that, you have a guy up top in John Elway. And you know what? I don't even care about Lightning McQueen, Connolly Rice, Rob Penner, because at the end of the day, I don't think they even know what to do.
No. My suggestion to them is look at these other organizations and look at them at the top.
Else.
Look at your role and what your counterparts there would be doing.
You have you have Trev Alberts in Lincoln, who is from what I'm hearing, and this is, again, I got to bring it up. I'm hearing Jeff Monken could be the next head coach. This guy comes from Army, and he is a offensive defensive line. That's what Chubb Alberts wants. And I haven't heard anything. This guy's keeping it close to the chest. That's what the good organizations do. They keep the coaching search close to the chest. They don't have stuff leak out like Elway did and has done. That's what the good and that's why I love Chubb Alberts, because he's getting Nebraska back on the right track. He's not going for the name head coaches. He's going for coaches that understand player development, recruiting, and getting the offensive defensive lines right when Nebraska was good in their heyday, just like the Denver Broncos in the 90s. The Denver Broncos need to take a page out of what the Nebraska Cornhuskers used to do back in the 90s. They need to take a page on what Pat Bowlen did for this organization. Rob Walton, my suggestion is to you, clean house in that organization. Go get a coach that has an identity. Have an identity for an organization that is...
You can't. You have this whole front office needs to be completely...
Yeah, you got to house.
Thinned out. You got to take things to the lowest common denominator. Like look at the Fords. Look what they did. That's all I can say about that. Eagles.
The Bills.
The Bills. Take a look at how they've got the front office structured, the coaching structured, player structure.
Now.
No media, PR machines, overhyping because you pick bad players.
Go get Adam Peters. Go get him. Go get Adam Peters.
Come up with an identity. What the fuck are we anyway? And then build around that. And don't deviate from it. Stick to itness. I'm going to end with this.
Yep.
I started with a video that was 9 months ago, and remember, everybody was so confused. Why are these two everybody's like, well, Hackett, Wilson, but you two, I don't understand. I don't get it. It's like this, people. When you see a gallon jug, and everybody's telling you it's a giant barrel, it's still a gallon jug. No matter how much media hype tells you it's a barrel, it's just a gallon jug. And we stuck to that. We said, no, this is what it is. And we got so much hate. People just, first of all, they didn't get it. They didn't get why we were just like this team sucks. And it's this. Do you get it now? Did it take this for you? I think no, there's morons out there they don't care about getting it. But like the Sandy Cloughs of the world, that you went along with all this. You did. I'm just saying, but now you get it. You get it.
Well, because he was getting paid to talk about it. And on top of that, I would
also not to talk about
I would go re-listen to his post game. They don't even have it on there anymore.
No.
Why do you think
that's all you need to know? Yeah, it's all you need to know.
So that's all I got to say. This organization, I believe, is the worst ran organization in the league. I love the Denver Broncos. I want
the organization. Yeah.
I love the Broncos organization.
Once was.
Yes, Pat Bowlen. Yes, I wanted to somewhat emulate that again. It doesn't have to be Pat Bowlen ran organization, but I want to go up instead of down. I want to be like the trajectory of the Lions, the Ravens, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Buccaneers. I want that again.
Dude,
that's all I want.
Dude, when it's worse than going down. This thing's like I'm saying, it's going into a black hole.
It's already in the
gravity well. It's going right into a gravity well.
It's already in that black hole, my friend. It's already in there. Like I said,
but it's getting crushed into oblivion.
Yeah, dude. And what did I say? And I will end it off. And this is the last thing I got to say because I got to run. This is the last thing I got to say. And I know me and you we actually have jobs aside of this and crap stuff like that. But let me just say this to you. I said 10, 12 months ago when we got Russell Wilson, I said, this will be the most hyped up offseason you'll ever see. This will be the most hyped up tenfold. And look what happened. We were right yet again on the player personnel. And again, I'll go back to that Buffalo Bills game when everybody was like, oh, it's just a preseason game. Well, yeah, because I saw the 53-man roster. And I said, and I warned all of you saying that this 53-man roster.
It's a reflection. It's a reflection.
Doesn't back up. And why do you think they didn't start Wilson in that game or played him? Because they knew They
the
knew.
cat would be out of the bag. They knew the cat would. What did you say? OTAs. Oh shit. Oh shit. I mean, even Russell Wilson had to, once he looked at tape, like when he came, he looked at tape and he looked at these receivers, and it was like, and he said, I got to have camp with him. I got to get with him. I got to. It was like, it seemed like instantaneous panic to get them out. Anyway,
You pay Cortland Sutton all this money for what?
and I said, we brought up Dan. That was brought up in the 9 months ago. Dan Quinn, like, why did you do that before the head coach came?
I know. Oh yeah, the Grand
They can't even
Flashback.
block. They
The
can't
Grand
block.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe Tim Patrick can block. I don't know. He was out but I haven't seen it.
No, I just clean house. That's what I would do. But whatever.
Anyway, we should get back. Just get your scouting. I'll do my media. Try to get this thing up and running.
I think us going forward, yeah, we could still cover the Broncos, but I think where our bread is butter, you stick to that media thing. You're excellent. I still want you to do film reviews because I love listening to your film reviews. I will start sticking to this. You're good at it. No, you're good at it. Stop. And then I will I'm going to start getting into the 2023 draft, looking for those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round talents, not the 1st and 2nd round where everybody knows.
Diamonds in the rough, the diamonds that you're so
undrafted free agents, stuff like that.
I mean, you're like 99.9 on all that. So good job.
I'm chopped liver when it comes
There's
to
people that pay for that stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let's I think that's where my channel is going to start going. And I think, it's up to you. It's your channel, but I think I think you're absolutely right. I think where our bread is buttered, we could still do the film reviews, but we got to start getting into scouting because it's getting towards the off season.
Yeah. I'm going to give you the floor. We can talk about why these players are, why, what you see, systems too, why they fit certain systems.
I'm going to try and get back on them too. And if they take down one of my videos, I'm going to just start then uploading all my stuff to BitChute.
Well, I'm going to ask, I'd really like you to just make a little short clip and say, look, I'm getting banned here. Check out this film review on the Denver defense.
I'll do it.
Here's the one
today. Yep.
Because they can't have anybody, point this out. Because guess what? NFL offensive coordinators, if you'd actually watch some film, this ain't a top 5 defense. Easily exploitable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I sent you a TikTok of Ron Rivera saying that exact same thing. When you watch the film doesn't lie.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm out of here,
Yeah, I can't deal with this media crap.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to say this.
Go for it.
Would I care if the Broncos, I would actually like to see the Broncos just keep losing games. Why? Because whether you want to admit it or not, that front office is on a time. And it's just, the faster we can move on from all that Elway stench, once we, we can start trying to figure out maybe a lot of this other stuff needs to go to start trying to bring things down to the least common denominator. Simplify. And
again, this, I got to go back to what we said in the off season. We said that this was going to get worse before it gets better. And look,
much worse before it gets better. Yes.
Yep. And it's going to get worse too. You think it's bad now? Just wait.
Yeah, I think it's a snake eating its own tail, personally.
I agree.
All right. On that merry note, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope it all works out for you with family members that and all the bickering and
I actually
drinking
on this Thanksgiving, so that's what I'll be doing on my Thanksgiving. I got to work with the mentally insane. So
the criminally insane.
Criminally insane. Yes,
they're actually it's criminally insane. All right. Enjoy that Thanksgiving dinner with the criminally insane over there at the Cuckoo's Nest.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later then.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.